Welcome to our next video. There are 12 essential notes in music, and it's important to know their names and to appreciate how each one of those notes sound like in order to progress in music. I've gone through these names along with their Western counterparts in a previous video, and I've also gone through the 16 note concept in Carnatic music. I think it was in video number 15. You're welcome to go back and listen to it if you wish. But the 12 note concept is very important, but it still causes a lot of confusion among students, particularly since the nomenclature is different in Carnatic and Hindustani, which are the two main schools of music in India. So in this video, I will try and clarify those differences in a simple way. In the next few minutes, I will focus the camera onto this white board behind me, so you'll be able to see clearly what these notes are, and I will try to play the notes on the piano as well to make it simple for you to understand. Perhaps you could pause the video and copy this table onto your notebook. You can see I've written a table-like format. On the left we have the names of the 12 notes in the Carnatic system, and on the right we have the 12 notes in the Hindustani system, and in the middle I have written the corresponding notes in the Western system. And on the top I have drawn a picture of the octave from the piano. So you're starting from the middle C, which is C, and the 12 notes following that. So in Carnatic music, this C is corresponding to the Sa, or what we call like Shadjam in Carnatic music, and in Hindustani we call that Shadaj. The second note is Shuddha Rishabham. So Sa Re Re. Shuddha Rishabham, the corresponding note in Hindustani is called Komal Rishabh. So all the notes in Hindustani, the smaller notes are called Komal Rishabh, Komal notes. The higher Re in Carnatic is called Chaturshuddhi Rishabham, and in Hindustani all these higher notes are called Shuddha notes, so it's called Shuddha Rishabh. Apart from Madhyam, we'll come to that in a minute. Gandharam, Sadharana Gandharam is the smaller Ga in Carnatic, and the bigger Ga is called Andhara Gandharam. The corresponding notes, the smaller Gandharam is called Komal Gandhar. All smaller notes are called Komal in Hindustani, and Shuddha Gandhar, or the higher Gandhar. Next we come to the Madhyam. In Carnatic music, this is Shuddha Madhyam, and the higher Ma is called the Pradimadhyamam. Shuddha Madhyamam, Pradimadhyamam. The corresponding notes in Hindustani is called Shuddha Madhyam for the smaller Ma, and Tibra Madhyam in Hindustani. Pancham or Panjamam in Carnatic is fixed. So Sa, Pa is always fixed. Okay, Pancham is fixed. Then we have Dhaivadam. Again there are two Dhaivadam. The smaller Dhaivadam is called Shuddha Dhaivadam in Carnatic, and the higher Dhaivadam is called Chatushruti Dhaivadam, and the corresponding notes in Hindustani, the smaller Dhaivadam is called Komal Dhaivadam. As I mentioned, all these smaller notes are called Komal, and the higher note is called Shuddha Dhaivadam. And finally we come to the Nishadam. So the smaller Nishadam in Carnatic is called Kaishiki Nishadam, and the higher Ni is called Kakli Nishadam, and the similar notes in Hindustani, the smaller Ni is called Komal Nishad, and the higher Ni is called Shuddha Nishad. Komal Nishad, Shuddha Nishad, before we finally come to the higher Sa. So Sa Re Re Ga Ga Ma Ma Pa Da Da Ni Ni Sa. So these are the 12 notes, or we call the chromatic scale in Western music. So now coming to the Western notes. So if middle C is our Shadjam. The next note, the next black note, in Western note we'll call that C sharp, and the next note after the C, which will be the next white note, would be the D. So this black note in between C and D, we can call that the C sharp. It can also call that as D flat. So C sharp or D flat. Likewise, the black note after that, which is the half note above D, is called D sharp, or it can be E flat, because the next note is E. So each of these notes is separated by what we call like a half note. So C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Then we have F and F sharp, which is the madhyamam in Carnatic and Hindustani. So Shuddha Madhyamam and Pratimadhyamam in Carnatic terms, or Shuddha Madhyam and Tivra Madhyam in Hindustani terms. So F and F sharp. So F sharp can also be called as G flat. Then G, G sharp. G sharp can also be called as A flat. So C, D, E, F, G. Then we have A and B. Then we have C again. So G, G sharp or A flat. Then A, A sharp. A sharp can also be called as B flat. And then we come to C. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then plus these 5 black notes forms the 12 notes. So I've written them with the numbers, so you can see the equivalent and corresponding notes. I made this short video since there was a fair amount of confusion regarding the terminology of these notes, particularly between the Carnatic and the Hindustani systems of music, because the word Shuddha can mean different in the two schools of music, and it's important to know that. I hope the lesson was useful. Do post any comments below, and if there is any further clarification needed on any aspect, I'll be very happy to do that in a future video. Like I mentioned, do refer back to lesson video 15, I think, where I mentioned about the 16 note concept. It's also a very, very important concept, particularly in Carnatic music. It's also used in Western music. I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you so much for watching.